I'm a firm believer that how you begin your morning will dictate the pace and rhythm of the entirety of your day. The way you prime your mind based on the activities you do early on will persist through the day and affect every decision that you make. With that said, I get up right before 6 a.m. to give myself enough time to wake up without the need to rush to fit my routine. The beginning of my day consists of a meditative practice, and that is through the creation and consumption of coffee. This allows me to focus on doing just one task with mindfulness and fervor. And it's an easy way of completing the first achievement of the day. This check in my list is on its own a great achievement to my day. Albeit it's small, it has a heck of a reward. Drinking coffee is on its own a mindfulness practice. I make sure that I don't do anything else but drink the coffee. That allows me to appease my often ruminating mind and remind myself to take on one task at a time. Once I'm through with the coffee, I take in a very simple pre-workout consisting of beta-alanine and L-theanine. And then I take on the hardest part of my day, the workout. So my day is actually just about to begin. I first start off with writing down or jotting quick notes of the tasks that I need to do today. And then I will be in a meeting, which will be the beginning of my workday at around 10 o'clock in the morning to meet with all the staff and talk about what we're going to do for the day. And that includes the productivity that we need to do, such as seeing which clients and sort of determining the acuity of clients and see who needs the most support currently at the moment. And then we're also going to talk about which notes are due, which assessments are due, and which treatment plans are due so that we can all accordingly plan for it and kind of prioritize those who needs it the most, those who are about to run out, or sort of give help to the clients who are in high acuity. So that's sort of how we plan out as a team how we're going to tackle the day. My work hour officially begins at 9 in the morning. I would usually have a notepad with me which I fill out every day that will list upcoming due dates for things like mental health assessments, treatment plans, and progress notes that needs to be submitted by the end of the day. After I determine the upcoming paperwork due dates, I start to tailor how my day is going to look like. This is actually very important for me because it gives me an idea on the outline of my day so that I can prepare materials and resources that I will use for that session. At 10 a.m., we have our daily meetings where the team meets and discuss about client-related progress. In the meeting, we talk about new referrals to our programs, the progress of each and every one of our clients, and the high-risk clients that we need to watch out for just so we can give more support for them. Then we're off to our duties. As a community mental health therapist, most of what I do involves being on the phone, or being in my car, or waiting for a client in a bench prior to a session, provided that the space is somewhat private so I don't break client confidentiality. Obviously, this goes to say that neither of these are exclusive, and really, I'm also in a bench and on the phone, or I can be on the phone in my car, or on the phone in my car right beside a bench. It really is just a matter of where I am and where I am to finish my tasks. I just miss it so much. Yes. And who is it that you miss so much? Your significant other? Your partner? Your family? My squad rat. Contrary to popular belief, I don't actually read minds, nor do I induce thoughts on other people. I don't provide words of healing or even give advice towards what the right action may be. The core and essence of therapy is creating a therapeutic relationship with an individual and promote healing through utilization of their strengths and really to increase their self-sufficiency. But not everything a therapist does is the same. What therapists do during a session really varies depending on the person and the situation. Clients who are more prone to risk, such as relapsing on drugs, high probability of committing suicide, or someone who just lost their home, can really benefit from crisis intervention sessions like safety planning and evaluations if there's a need to be hospitalized. While more stable individuals can benefit from processing sessions. You know, that's when we typically explore the time that you pooed your pants and somehow developed social anxiety. I'm kidding. So tell me more about your mother. Right, so lunch is just about ready. It's almost done cooking. I'm trying to, as much as possible, eat from home and bake something good. Alright guys, it's right about ready, and I'll show you guys what we eat for lunch. It's oven-baked notes. Notes. As some would say, it's the ability to transcribe the inner working of a man and bring it through the fabric of reality. A thorough depiction of what has been said, what has been done, and what will be. Yeah, not necessarily. So before I get into the topic of talking about notes, I think it's important first that we talk about productivity. To simply put, productivity is the amount of billable hours that we do in a specific day. And billable hours is just the amount of time that we're spending to utilize for a service. So when we're providing a client with therapy, when we're providing them with case management, or we're trying to help them get housing, for example, all of these are examples of billable hours. It's important to note that not everything we do in a specific day is considered a billable hours. And if a service that we did for a client is indeed billable, then they are put in these different codes. And these codes tell you what type of service you did for a client for that day. The reason why this is important for a community mental health agency is because this is how we get our money. As a nonprofit organization, we get our money for every minute of every service that we provide that is billable. And such, as a staff of a community mental health agency, I have a required number of billable hours every day that I have to meet to make sure that I'm meeting this so-called productivity. Now, how do we show the county or how do we show the local government that what we're doing for is billable? Notes. The other half of my day consists of the delicate art of transforming words into written documentation. For each service that is provided for a client, a progress note must come along with it. Progress notes are a great way to keep track of what happened during a session, and it's also a piece of evidence to show that the service was indeed provided. In addition to that, it is my responsibility as a clinical coordinator to audit my team's notes and ensure that they are up to documentation standards. That simply means that I have to ensure that the notes are written in a specific way that it shows why services are being provided and how it can benefit the client's treatment. After I make sure that all required documentations have been submitted, I can finally call it a day. Finally, at the end of the day, after having multiple conversations with multiple different people in multiple different settings, I make it to a point that my last interaction is with the person that I love the most. Just as it is important to start the day right, it is equally important to end the day with intentional self-care. Andrea and I make it to a point that we go out for a walk every afternoon. This gives us the time to catch up with one another about our day while experiencing the beautiful view of the outdoors. After our leisurely walk, I would cook dinner for two with a little bit of red wine from time to time, and we call it a night.